And I give the call to the Assistant Minister for Social Services and Assistant Minister for the Prevention of Family Violence.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And I too am pleased to be speaking on the Social Security Administration Amendment Income Management Reform Bill 2023. And of course, this bill reflects the Albanese Labor Government's commitment to reform income management. And of course, last year our government passed legislation to repeal the cashless debit card or CDC program. And that delivered on our election commitment. It did to make sure we got rid of the cashless debit card. And of course, we see and hear today from those opposite they're absolutely committed to bringing that back, which will be very distressing for those many communities who, for many years, had advocated and campaigned in relation to having the cashless debit card removed because of the extent and impact on so many communities. And we certainly heard from hundreds and hundreds of people whose lives had been severely impacted by the card, and I'm sure all of those people will be absolutely aghast to hear that the Liberals and Nationals are committed to bringing back the cashless debit card, as they've made repeated claims today. The fact is the cashless debit card was unfair and it was incredibly detrimental to many people's lives. We had stories of people who couldn't pay their rent or their car repayments, and it was imposed upon communities without even consultation. No notice at all. And of course we know that the former government, the Morrison government, had plans to expand the cashless debit card to other communities and plans to extend that to aged pensioners as well. And we've seen that reported in a number of cases. So as I say, we went to the election with the commitment to abolish the cashless debit card. Now, when that legislation was passed during the repeal of the cashless debit card, we established the Enhanced Income Management Program. And today we are moving these amendments to ensure that income management participants are better supported. We know how important it is to provide all of those services that can be accessed, so vitally important for those people in a range of communities. Now, the bill sets out amendments that will, one, provide existing income management participants with the choice to access a more contemporary card known as the Smart Card, and direct all new income management participants to the Smart Card. That means no new participants will be issued with the Basics card. The bill is truly a product of meaningful community consultation because we do believe in listening to communities, working with them to get outcomes that best reflect them, not imposing upon them policies and plans like the previous government did. And this bill is a product of that meaningful consultation. The Smart Card is a contemporary visa technology delivered by Services Australia, which will give participants access to a modern financial experience. It includes access to tap-and-go transactions, online shopping, BPay and the PIN for added security. In addition, this bill ensures that participants will actually receive front-facing, people-driven service that's delivered by Services Australia, not a private company, as was the case under the previous government with the cashless debit card, and that caused a huge amount of distress that people were not able to speak to a person about their individual circumstances to actually access the goods and services they need. And as I say, it will be driven by Services Australia, and it really ensures that the most vulnerable in our community are best supported, those who do indeed need that support, because it was incredibly difficult before. When it was a private company, they had to call and they were not receiving the support. And we've also listened to the strong feedback around the Basics card, which includes feedback delivered to the many submissions to the Senate Community Affairs Legislation Committee. And this bill takes those steps to further address concerns around the inadequacies of the Basics card. We know from feedback and consultation that the Smart Card meets the community expectations. And this bill gives existing income management participants the choice to move to that more enhanced technology. Now, Deputy Speaker, I've spoken to many people on the ground in the regions with income management, heard from them firsthand about what their communities need and want. And this bill, plus the changes we've already introduced, that's what communities have asked for, and that's what we have done, consulted and listened and acted, and we'll continue to do that. And we do that because this government understands there's not a one-size-fits-all, and complex issues require complex solutions, often on a case-by-case, location-by-location basis, in actually listening to those communities. And we understand that's the way forward, genuine consultation. We don't impose that. There's massive legislative and policy changes the previous government did that caused so much distress when the cashless debit card was brought in. Deputy Speaker, I also want to highlight that this bill will ensure there are no new compulsory referrals for aged pensioners and special needs pensioners. We will also ensure that veterans' payments are also non-eligible payments for enhanced income management. And this reflects our government's view that it was never appropriate and ensures that any attempts to change this in the future will actually be needed to put to the Parliament for legislative change, and we believe it's vitally important to include that. Now, of course, I'd like to reiterate to the House that these proposed amendments do not preempt longer-term considerations around any income management, depending upon what those communities may raise with us. But can I say our government was very, very clear about our commitment to abolish the cashless debit card, which we have delivered on. As I say, it was an issue that has been raised for many years with us. We made it very clear at the election that we attended abolishing the cashless debit card, and we listened to them. We've done that. And of course, as I say, I'm listening to communities, and as at the 6th of March 2023, participants in the Northern Territory, Cape York and Dulmidgee have all successfully transitioned to enhanced income management. And volunteering participants in other former CDC sites have also been able to transition to enhanced income management. And as I say, in working closely with those communities, we know one of the most important aspects is providing support. And we're going to be doing that. I mean, under the previous government, all of the funding for any of those supports just had stopped. They had no plans to continue that. We are going to continue giving support to these communities with our $17 million for an economic development grant round, which is currently underway to implement projects to create sustainable jobs in Ceduna, East Kimberley, the Goldfields and Cape York, and $1.5 million for immediate community priorities in the Goldfields, East Kimberley and Ceduna. Deputy Speaker, today's bill does not change the operation of income management in the Northern Territory and other place-based locations. In addition, this bill does not change the eligibility criteria in the assessment process. What this bill does is give the same choice to existing income management participants in the Northern Territory and other place-based locations to actually be able to access and use that contemporary technology. And as we've said when we abolished the CDC last year, we are committed to informed and detailed consultation with communities on the future of income management and in continuing to work with those communities. And any decisions about any futures to do with the future of income management has to be based on consultation with those communities, state and territory governments, and a whole range of people, particularly those participants. And we will keep doing that. We will keep talking to all of those participants, those recipients, frontline services, First Nations leaders. We will constantly keep working with them. And also we will continue to deliver and invest in improved opportunities and services to best support and empower the most vulnerable people. That's exactly what we've done with the support services that we've put in place. With ensuring that Services Australia plays such a vital role in assistance that people need. And so, Deputy Speaker, on that I would like to finish with, again, just raising with the House the community concerns that have been raised now that we're hearing from the Liberals and Nationals that they intend to bring back the cashless debit card. We know it was always their intention to expand it and expand it further, and I imagine that will be very distressing for those communities, like right throughout the country. We know that it wanted to be extended to so many communities, to our aged pensioners as well, and today they have confirmed that that is their intention. They want the cashless debit card back. Well, we've made it very clear we repealed the cashless debit card, and we will continue to fight your objective of bringing it back. We want to work with individual communities and get the best outcome for them, and that's exactly what we've done, and that's exactly what this bill relates to today, and I commend the bill to the House.
Thank you.